ALG really saved me. I put all of my success on joining this group. People constantly checking in saved me.
I made so many friends with people that I've never met, but I feel incredibly close to, and I consider them family.
It really is a family. It is a place where you can just be yourself and there is no judgment. There is no shame. You are so welcome there.
Nobody has to be in this alone. Everybody is either going through or has gone through the same thing at one point.
Let's do this.
Welcome back to the ALG podcast. If you're listening to this on the day it dropped, then happy Friday to you. Guys, really quick at the top of the show. Tonight's show is sponsored by the good folks at Redcon One and by Real Good Foods. So if you're looking to save money, go on to redcon1.com, use promo code T20JARPS, and you will save money on checkout. If you go to realgoodfoods.com, use the promo code The Gains in Between, and you will save money on checkout. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the Accountable Life Group podcast.
So, all right, I'm totally gonna pull the trigger on it. Just off of that point.
You're gonna buy the soundboard?
Yes, I'm getting a soundboard. That's gonna
God.
happen. So I was on a business, like a meeting with a guy I met through LinkedIn. He's just like a big LinkedIn guy. He's got he partnered with LinkedIn, does a lot of the audio work and shit like that. Well, we were chopping it up, and he's got like a full soundboard and everything for his podcast. I'm like, that is so cool. And he's like pushing buttons. I'm like, this is so cool.
Dude, so, Anthony has one.
Yeah, we're getting one. I'm gonna get one.
Cool.
So
excellent.
This week's podcast, off the top of the cuff, because you know how we live. I think it's a great conversation because it is one of the things that how do I say this in the nicest way possible? Most people are always losing weight or gaining weight, period.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you wish people would have more of a conversation of maintenance, of being able to stay at people talk about gaining weight and losing weight, but the reality is hopefully 90% of your life is in maintenance. 90% of your life should be in just enjoying life and staying at a relatively healthy and happy level. And you're just a shit show.
Yeah. Don't look at me right now. I'm fighting my equipment. I have new equipment now, and I can't hear myself, and it's bugging me out.
You put your headphones up.
All right. So I'm going to flip this one so you can't hear it. No, I'm struggling right now.
Everyone talks about the gain weight and the lose weight. That's it. Right. Hopefully you build a balance and a lifestyle where maintenance should be most of your life. And if it's not, it's something we need to really talk about. And it's something that needs to be talked about more. And so with that being said, John, I mean, you've been here for how long has your maintenance relatively been?
Well, I'm on a new maintenance now, I guess I would say. I was in maintenance, then, I went through a little dark period in my life. I put on a little bit of weight, and then I decided that I wanted to do the bodybuilding show. So then I did that. So now that I am what I would consider my new maintenance, it's definitely been an eye-opening experience because of the fact that when I got to this point of maintenance, this is the first time I've ever done a reverse diet. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't realize when you're taking yourself from being in a caloric surplus, right? So you're just eating however you want. And then, one day you decide to lose weight and then you put yourself in a caloric deficit. Eventually, when you get down to your goal weight, because that is the ultimate goal, right? Is to get where you want to be. People just automatically assume, okay, I can just eat however the fuck I want to eat. Mm-hmm. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, your body is going to take in everything at once, and you're going to hold on to stuff really bad. So the best way to do it, and it's not taught, it's never taught because I knew nothing about it. Not that I'm the benchmark of knowledge or anything in weight loss, because I'm not. But anyway, I was never taught that you need to slowly build back up your calories so your body evens out. Cool, right? I wish someone would have taught me that years ago. So that's where I'm at now. I'm in my what I like as my first ever maintenance. Nice. For real. So I'm sitting right now between, every day's a new day. You know what I mean? The body fluctuates like crazy, and we all know that. But on any given day, I'm somewhere between 230 to 235.
Okay.
you know? So like I have like a 5-pound swing. I've always had a 5-pound swing, but like
That's wild.
now I'm
That's life.
really, yeah, exactly. Now I'm just like really on top of what my maintenance is, how I like to live. You know, I've developed new eating habits, you know, after this. You know, I was always very balls to the walls. Oh, you got to diet, you got to diet, you got to diet. And that's nowhere to like, that's not a place you want to live at. When every day is a diet, it's bro, it takes, that's why people fail. That's why diets fail. You know, we've said that multiple times on this podcast.
No, 100%. Because again, like, it's always that trying to find that happy balance, because when we talk about like reverse diet, you talk about when your body does adapt. Like as you are in a caloric deficit for an extended period of time, your body adapts. Just like
absolutely.
Just like, guess what? You want to know what putting on lean muscle mass is? Putting on lean muscle mass is your body adapting to the new stress you give it.
Right.
It's the same thing for when you lose weight. If you continually lose weight for an extended period of time, your body just starts to adapt to the new caloric deficit you're in, because it's just worried. It's like, oh gosh, how long can I do this before it hurts? That's why diet breaks, where you go back to maintenance. And that's why reverse dieting and all this new data coming out of the last, say, decade or so is so important, because it is crazy to me how someone can drop their calories and stuff like that, and they've been in a deficit for so long, and now their maintenance calories based upon how their body adapted is, say, like 1,800 calories a day.
Absolutely.
And you think about that, that means if someone eats 1,900 calories, they're quote unquote gaining weight.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. Like 1,900 is nothing.
Right.
But just like the adaptation for slowing down your quote unquote metabolism, you can do the same thing slowly by gaining it. And so same thing, that reverse diet process, you go to whatever your maintenance calories is, and you raise it by 100 to 200 a week over like a 6-week time frame.
Absolutely.
And you can relatively slowly bring up your metabolism without putting a bunch of fat on.
Absolutely.
However, if you do it too quick, meaning all of a sudden you just go from 1,800 calories to 2,500, 3,000 really quick, your body
put
go,
on fat.
Whoop,
yeah.
I'm sucking that bad boy in. But it's 100 to 200 calories per week added on. It's not that big of a deal, and your body slowly gets used to it. That's why I'm a firm believer in that kind of learning that science myself.
Absolutely.
It's been fascinating to see. But I think that's what's so important, even what you said there with, again, we've been there. Like the over restriction and just diet mentality of cut, don't eat anything else.
Toxic.
But we get it. We both have been there. Like, it's not like both of us in our journey we were both in phases where, like, I didn't touch synthetic sugars. I didn't touch carbs.
You know what I mean? I feared carbs up until the beginning of last
years,
year.
for months and months, and if not years. And so we get the fear. We get it. And so, but the reality is, when it comes to maintenance, when you come to creating a sustainable lifestyle, if you think you have to cut out everything for 40 years, good luck. Good luck. It can be done. I don't know the quality your life is going to be, but it can be.
Because you may be really good right now. You know what I mean? Like, you may be great right now. You love the caloric deficit. You love the routine, and that's great. Like, you should have a routine, but eventually down the line, and I'm not meaning tomorrow, the next day, it could be years. Because for me, it was years, and it was just like, how long can you possibly say no to just the little things in life? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going back on everything I've ever said, but it's like, you know, when I started my journey, and I still believe this, like, if you're in a place where, let's just say, for example, you're 450 pounds, right? And you want to lose 150, 200 pounds, you know, and you come to me and you say, you know what, you know, my birthday is coming up and I want to have a piece of cake. A part of me a long time ago would have been like, you know what, your birthday is going to come around again. You have a piece of cake later down the line. But now it's like, enjoy that little slice of cake. You know what I mean? Like, you can dabble a little bit and it's not going to throw you off. You know what I mean? Especially, like, I was reading something the other day, and it was like, if you follow the 80% rule, of dieting, right? So 80% of the time you're on track. Boom, 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 boom. 365 days a year. That means 72 days out of that year, you can be off track and it won't affect your goals. 72 days is a lot of days. It's a lot of days.
100%. And that's where consistency, when it comes to maintenance, it's finding that consistency over time.
Right.
Where it's like this idea that you have to cut out pizza forever. This idea now, should you eat an entire Jets pizza to yourself?
Right.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Oh, listen, let's talk about Jets pizza really quick. All right. So I make fun of David all the time for this Jets fucking pizza gimmick, right? And then I was in Manhattan, and I'm never in Manhattan, right? Like everyone hears that you're from New York, so they automatically think you live next to the Empire State Building, you have lunch at the fucking Statue of Liberty, and that's, life. Well, that's not true. So I found myself in Manhattan not too long ago, and I'm driving downtown, and there's a fucking Jets pizza in Manhattan, okay? Do you know how embarrassing that is as a New Yorker? Besides the fact that we have Sbarro, which needs to be banned from being considered New York pizza, but
Sbarro's is the best pizza there is.
All right, shut the fuck up, Michael Scott. But hold on. All right, so I did a little investigating. All right, because that's the type of guy I am, and I looked up this Jets Pizza on Instagram. Do you know Jets Pizza barely has like 30,000 followers on Instagram as their verified account?
They don't put a lot of value in their social media. Interesting.
They don't. And I know that they're a big brand, like outside of like the tri-state area, they're ginormous. They're ginormous. Yeah,
that's a fascinating thing in and of itself. These billion-dollar companies that have no social media presence,
no Instagram.
Yeah,
like horrible. So anyway, I passed the Jets pizza and I thought of David and I was just like, this is actually kind of sick. I'm embarrassed right now for all 5 boroughs. We have a Jets pizza.
See, the whole thing to me in Jets, and this is why I was having this conversation with Lanisha, and the reason why I always say Jets is like Jets calorically is one of the most naughty pizzas.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's the thick, deep dish, doughy.
It's Detroit style.
Oil. It's Detroit style. And if you were to get a one slice of pizza from Domino's, it's only like 230 calories.
Yeah, like something in that ballpark. Yeah,
230, 250. Which, I mean, again, if you're having 1 or 2 slices of pizza, isn't that big of a deal? It's 500 calories.
But mind you, a Domino slice of pizza is no bigger than that, and no thicker than that.
Yeah, it's like Illuminati.
Yeah,
yeah. But
I'm ready. If you're listening to this, I'm ready.
But at the same time, a slice of Jets is like 480 to 500,
without a shadow of a doubt.
It's over double. It's over double. And so it's like if you have like 3 slices of Jets versus 3 slices of Domino's, it is massively different on calories.
So Detroit, I know we're on a big pizza tangent here, and this is not where we were going, but that's the glory of the ALG podcast. So food in New York goes through phases. Okay. That's just the culture here. Like for a while, everything that was opening up was some sort of fancy burger joint. You know what I mean? No, we had faux years ago. So we did fancy burger joints for a while, and then that was the craze. And then like different wing spots, like different type of wing places were opening. That was a thing for a little while. Now egg roll places are opening up, and like wonton dumpling places are opening up that are not like sophisticatedly just Chinese. You follow what I'm saying? Like there's like fucking this one place has a Reuben in a dumpling. And it's slamming. So now in the pizza sphere in New York, Detroit style pizza is very big. So like where I used to go get pizza as a kid, which is a standard mom and pop pizzeria, owned by the same family for 65 years, is now serving what they call the Depiqua. It's called the Depiqua because so my old hometown was called Massapequa, and they combined Detroit and Pequa together. And it's the Depiqua slice, and it's fucking thick, and it's got all this shit in it, and it's fucking slamming. Now, in New York, you can only get 3 styles of pizza sometimes. You get a regular, a Sicilian, which is a square pizza, but not to be confused with the Detroit style pizza. And then some places would do like a Chicago style.
Okay.
So, but
is thin crust?
New York is New York.
It's crunchy thin crust, I think.
So, like, technically outside of New York, that's what you would consider New York style pizza, depending on who you ask.
Okay.
So like It's not that it's super
I always think
thin.
New York style is the big floppy, like you fold it in half. And
Well, yeah. I mean, if you eat pizza like a fucking idiot and you don't fold it in half, how do you eat pizza? How do you eat a regular slice?
Well, it depends on who you're getting it from. That's the
How
whole point.
How do you eat a regular slice?
It depends on where you're getting it from. Like,
no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Okay, hold on.
I fold the Domino slice. Absolutely. I don't care how small the slice is. You fold the slice.
You fold a Detroit style slice?
Oh no, squares you don't fold until you get to the end. Then you fold.
You can't that. And then I do fold most of the time, like Dominoes and stuff like that. Not all the time. But
yes, we do have big floppy style pizzas. But no, a nice pizza should have a nice coloration, little caramelization on the bottom, maybe a little coal mark on it. You know, we really went on a tangent here. I could talk about pizza all day.
We have a cult following of people who are trying to lose weight, and we're talking about pizza.
You know, sometimes
this goes to show you guys, you don't have to stop pizza forever. You can still have pizza from time to time. Maintenance.
And if you're keeping score at home, I still haven't had a real slice of pizza. It's been 6 years. I'm breaking the streak though. This is the year.
Yeah, but you have to do it with what's his name, right? You're gonna do it with
I'm gunning hard for Dave Portnoy.
Yeah,
if I get Barstool to I see you guys looking at my stories too. They dabble in my stories, and I'm just like, I don't understand.
All right, maintenance. Mindset of maintenance. I think it's super important because right now we're talking about it kind of a little bit, which is like we're talking about pizza, we're talking about ice cream, we're talking about these things that you fear so inevitably. And the reality is, when you're thinking about maintenance, finding ways to create balance within maintenance is one of the things that plays a role.
Right, and maintenance is also routine. You know what I mean? Like you can be healthy 75% of the time, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, but you'd have to leave a little wiggle room to live sometimes when you're on maintenance.
Yeah.
Again, we're not talking about having to lose a shit ton of weight. We're not talking about having to turn around and change your whole lifestyle in order to save your life. I'm talking to the people that have put in the work, that have gotten to where they want to be, but now they're struggling because of the fact they feel like they can't enjoy their life anymore.
It's like the guy that commented, I had to comment on it too. The guy who commented on your Instagram post when you were talking about like fearing food or some shit.
Oh, that one there.
Yeah, and he goes, easy for you to say, you've already put in the work and lost 300 pounds. Yeah. And you're telling other people what to do. You're going to knock them off their path and fuck you, man. And it's like, bro, first off, you're on my social. He's like, no, his quote was, way to be a good leader in this condescending tone. It was like, so like be a good leader.
I lost it.
I know. I'd be like, excuse me, I actually am being a good leader because one of the things we need to talk about is balance.
Right.
One of the things we got to talk about is maintenance. Now, again, we both went very restrictive for a decent majority of our weight loss in and of itself. Is that necessary? No. That's what's great about this podcast. We have had people on here that literally had pizza in and off through their entire weight loss journey. We had people on here that did it in very slower, more consistent ways because it kept more balance in food. You got Dean. Shout out to Dean. The man's lost 300 pounds and he still eats all of it. He just eats lots of it.
Right.
Calorie deficit. And so it's super
and the thing of being a good leader or a good teacher, which I would never even consider myself any of those things, is like if you're a leader, you've gone through the lessons beforehand. That's how you got into the position of being a leader, right? So like you have made those mistakes and you learn from those mistakes. And now you're teaching those people not to make those same mistakes as you did. Yep. And that's how you got into the position of being a leader. So like David just said, we both were super restrictive and we hated it.
Mm-hmm.
But we both came out on the other side successful, and we've both been on maintenance for a long time. And when he says maintenance, he means we have not put back on the weight that we lost. I have not, right. I have not regained 300 pounds. He has not regained 200 plus pounds. That's what we mean. Mm-hmm. So like there's levels to this. You know what I mean? Like, and you may not feel this way right now. And I don't blame you. If you're listening to this podcast and you're sitting there and you're like, I don't think I'm ever going to get to the point where I could even like feel like I can dabble at it. Believe me when I tell you, I want you to go back in a year, 2 years from now, re-listen to this episode, because I bet you're going to feel differently.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. That's called growth.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's called absolute growth. We're not supposed to stay the same forever.
And this idea that you're gonna be in this, thinking about 400-pound David, and the biggest goal and the most exciting thing I could wrap my head around was losing 2 pounds a week.
Yeah.
That's how I started. Like this idea that, again, I just snapped my fingers and I was like, I'm sick of it. I'm losing 200 pounds. That's not how it fucking happened.
Guys, when I started my journey, I slept in the gym parking lot in my car and told people I was going to the gym. Like, we start somewhere. You
start anywhere. And like where you're at is where you're at. Now, do you push your comfort zone? Of course you do. Yeah. Once you hit a goal, do you set a new aspiring goal on top of it? Of course you do. Across that process, but where you start doesn't fucking matter. Now, the number one maintenance thing in my mind, because it's so funny to me, because I just had a video someone put on my TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, can you explain to me how I can get 30,000 people on a live, but I can't get more than 1,000 people on a post? It doesn't make any sense.
They don't want to see you win.
But so with that being said, this guy goes, hey, congrats, but 95%, and he goes, but 95% of you will gain it all back. So don't be too happy. That's what he said. And I'm like, and I made a comment back and I go, hey, I don't know. I said, first off, I appreciate the compliment. But I said, number two, the reason why I know I will not be part of the 99% is because I truly have made a decision. I'm a different fucking human being.
Right.
Like truly, I appreciate 400-pound David. You want to talk about maintenance? You want to talk about consistency? I truly appreciate who I used to be because it gives me perspective on health, happiness, and what's important. I'm a different fucking human being. And the idea of being 400 pounds again is impossible. Yeah. Like there is literally nothing that can happen in my life for that to come back to fruition.
Right.
That's why I know I'm not going back.
Exactly.
And so you want to talk about maintenance. You want to talk about that process. You may not feel it yet. That's fine. Maintenance will come around when you know you're never going back.
Yes.
It's just not an option.
Bingo.
Like, it's just like, because again, you may slide for a week and you may gain 5 or 10 pounds.
But that's also how the journey begins, when you give yourself no other option. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a switch, and you can't flip the switch on command. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, it just has to happen, and it's going to happen, and it happens for everybody. And when it's your time, it's your time. And, you know, and then eventually you learn how to control the switch. You know what I mean?
What the switch is for you.
Right. And then things become a little bit easier. But like, yeah, that's like one of the most common questions that I get asked, you know, when I do like a ask me anything, or like if I'm on someone else's podcast, is like, what inspires you to never go back? Because I know what it was like. Like, I've been there, and nothing about being that person makes me happy. You know what I mean? So like, once you figure out how to flip that switch, you're good. Like,
and you're a different human being. Like, I think that's super important. You can tell who has the potentiality to fall back versus who doesn't, based upon how they talk to themselves.
Yes.
Like,
self-talk is so important.
Oh, it's like, I've heard people who have talked and like they've lost 100, 200 pounds, and like they're, well, I'm still working on it. And like, well, and I'm like, he hasn't fully believed yet. He's not there yet. And it's like, that's fine. Let's make sure he doesn't let that go back. But it's like, Jay crushing it.
Yeah. Jay.
Like, you can tell just how he talks. Just like, it's not even a fucking option.
It's not an option.
It's just not an option. It's just not. And so if you're not there yet, you still have that fear. That's fine. You'll figure out that in time. You'll flip that switch in time.
Everyone has their own lane, guys. Yeah.
Keep thinking about it. Keep thinking about, hey, tell yourself this is it. But you want to talk about maintenance? Maintenance actually comes from here. And
like the rest of this journey does. Yeah. Like, it all comes from your brain. You know, it all comes from your inner being, like your inner thoughts, how you actually talk to yourself. Like, you know, because you could be whoever the fuck you want to be on the outside to like the public or on social media or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, when you're in a setting, like you're in your room by yourself and you're replaying your day, because we all do it, how you talk to yourself in those moments, that's where the decisions are made. That's where change is made. That's where progression is made. It's nowhere else. I don't care. You could stand on your soapbox all day long. Me and you could make posts all day long about this is how you do it. This is how we felt, blah, 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 blah. But unless we really feel that way when we are right here alone by ourselves, we don't believe shit. I see it with some of these influencers online. Like I see it with these people. Half these people don't believe half the fucking words that are coming out of their own mouth.
100%.
And half these people are taking content that they found on someone else's page and they're like, wow, that fucking sounded really cool. I might as well fucking post something similar to that. Or I might as well just take the words verbatim because, hey, that popped off for so-and-so. So, I mean, I'm supposed to believe that too. Bro, until you fucking figure it out yourself and you have that aha moment, you can tell yourself whatever you want.
I love it's so funny to me. I've been seeing these videos pop up of like, because social media has been around long enough where people who faked it till they made it are now finally getting their humble moment. And it's like, I remember watching this one. It was like this couple, and like they got big on Instagram early on, and they built this huge brand around making money and loving each other fully as like a husband and wife. Yeah. And like they put on this huge facade that their life is fucking perfect. Right. And, hey, buy my course on how to live a life like mine. And now they're divorced and it's a huge blow up. And it's like proof is in the pudding. Yeah. It's the same thing with like fitness and stuff. It's like, hey, I guess this is going to sound super petty, and I hope this doesn't turn people the wrong way because it can be proven wrong. There's two things you should be thinking about when you're taking advice from someone through especially obesity transformations. Number one, have they done it? Number two, how long have they sustained it?
Yes.
Because it's one thing to say, oh my gosh, this guy's lost 300 pounds.
How long has he
How
been?
long?
Yeah. Right.
Like, did he just finish?
Right.
Is he still in that? Like, because like that is super important because again, anyone can, like, I hate to say this, anyone can lose a significant amount of weight by just hyperly restricting themselves. Shout out to Doug. Shout out to Doug. The guy lost 250 pounds eating chicken and apples. Right. Like, shout out to you. That takes balls of fucking steel, grit beyond a shadow of a doubt. Was he going to maintain it? No, not a fucking chance.
He'll tell you that himself.
100%. And like, shout out to Doug because like, it goes to show you how much willpower that fucker has. Right. Because like that, I couldn't even imagine.
But on my list of people that I think are going to make it, he's one of them. You know what I mean? Because he understood where he went wrong the first time and is now getting the help that he needs to kind of lay down the foundation of how he's going to succeed the second time.
100%.
And just keep in mind, guys, like you think losing 100, 200, 300 pounds is hard. Like it takes a long time. I just want to let you know how quickly you can gain back 100, 200, 300 pounds.
Yep.
So God giveth, God taketh away.
That one, you talk about like a mindset destroyer. That is one perspective I don't know very well, which
I don't ever want to experience.
I don't ever want to experience it, but I don't know it, which is like you lose 200, 300, 400 pounds and then you gain it all back and more.
I would be devastated. I don't even know what I would do.
The only time I ever really 100% lost significant amount of weight, I've kept it off for 8 years now. And so it's interesting, like that whole perspective of like, what is it like? I don't know. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But shout out to Doug for going at it again. Gosh, I mean, if you lose the weight and you come back, like that's fucking demoralizing.
Absolutely.
And so maintenance, we kind of jabbled around a lot there. Final thoughts.
I think that if you don't think that you're ever going to make it into a maintenance phase, then you're never going to make it into a maintenance phase. That's number one.
100%.
Number two, when you're setting up these goals, like you need to always look at big picture, and on your goal list, maintenance phase needs to be on that goal list. Like too many of us have made these big goals to lose these drastic amount of weights, and all what we care about is our goal weight. And then that's it. So like that needs to end. And I think that's a really good, what are your final thoughts?
100%. Like I literally said this in my TikTok live today, which was this girl comes on and says, I've lost 100 pounds in the last 18 months. And first off, I was like, whoa, that's a lot. And I was like, did you have weight loss surgery? She's like, no. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm eating 1,200 or 1,100 calories a day. There was 1,000 calories a day. And I told her, I was like, hey, I'm not going to shit on your parade about what you've done thus far. And it's incredible. Right. Just know eating 1,000 calories a day is not sustainable. You will not be able to do this for the rest of your fucking life. So if you want to keep this going and keep the momentum going, I'm not going to shit on you for doing that. However, what I will tell you is you better start thinking about how you're going to maintain it. What's your plan going to be after you hit your goal? Because the idea of going back to who you used to be is never an option. So
absolutely.
That's why I kind of left with her. Was like, what you're doing is not sustainable, which is fine. I'm not going to sit here and shit on your parade. I'm just going to tell you, start thinking about how you're going to maintain it afterwards.
Right.
So
I like that.
Yeah, that's always a big one, because I hate it when people just arbitrarily shit on someone for like, if they're seeing progress. It's like, you may want to guide them saying, hey, this is going to be your next hurdle. Like, tell them where the next hurdle is going to be. That's fine. But like, no, you can't do it that way.
I'm having that problem right now. I'm having that. I won't say it's a problem, but before we, wrap this up, like I'm having that discussion right now with my younger brother. So my younger brother, heavy his whole life, just like me, decided on his own without anyone else's outside advice to lose weight. And in a very short amount of time, he's down 100 pounds, which hats off to him. I'm very proud of him. But now I've been asking him to tell me, exactly how much he's eating, because I need to start to rein him in a little bit, because he is getting to the point where he's lost this weight way too quickly. And if he wants to have a little bit of fun, which he's a young kid, he's not even 20 yet. Then he needs to kind of, fix these drastic things that he's doing, and he could still lose weight, and he could still have fun, and he could still create these great goals, because he's doing a fantastic job. And I never want to take that from him, but I need him to be able to do this, on his own. And then when he needs me to come in, I come in. Yeah. It's like sharing someone, hey, where your hurdles are going to be, because I know the path you're on. Right. Don't tell them to arbitrarily, hey, change your fucking path. Right. Like, hey, I understand it. I've been there. I went to 1,200 calories. I get it. Yeah. This is what you're going to be your issue. This is what's going on. This is where you're going to run out of steam. Yeah. And just so you know, this is in your inevitable future. You don't have to pivot now if you don't want to. I get it. I get you like the momentum. That's fine. But just know this is the path you're going down. This is where this is what the results are going to be. Yeah. And so, I despise it when someone just arbitrarily says, don't do it that way. Yeah. I agree. Shut the fuck up. I agree. Everybody is not the same, but at the end of the day, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. If you listen to this, to the end, I thank you. As always, the podcast is sponsored by the good folks at Redcon One. Go on to redcon1.com. I fucked up right there. Go on to redcon1.com. Use promo code T20JARPS to save money. Realgoodfoods.com. The gains in between at checkout to save money. If you're looking for coaching, ALG coaching is available. And if you would like, you can go on to algcoaching.com, check it out, get a quote. We'd love to work with you. And if you don't, that's cool too, because every single Wednesday night, we offer an absolutely free community call. David, what's the most important part of weight loss? Community, baby. Thank you. See, we didn't rehearse that. We didn't rehearse that. That was golden. I had a lot of faith in him. I really took a shot there. He could have said something stupid, but anyway, he didn't. So, community, every single Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 Pacific. The call is absolutely free, and you can get on that call by going to www.accountable-lifegroup.com. Guys, like, share, subscribe. Share this with someone who you think will enjoy it. Please leave us a review, and as always, be beautiful, be sexy, stay accountable. Toodles.